Well, I'm delighted to welcome back to the Devizes Town YouTube channel our manager, Chris Allen. Chris, Devizes Town 3-0 win against Sturminster Newton. I'd characterise that performance as a feel-good performance. Do you feel good?
Yes, it was a completely different performance to the one on Saturday. Obviously, Saturday we were really bright and really energetic, and to be honest, ran away with the game. I think tonight was always going to be slightly different. Looking at the results that Sturminster have had early on, they look a side that don't give a lot away. There's only been one goal in all of their games, I think. So we knew tonight was going to be difficult, and there was always going to be a slight hangover from the 7-0 on Saturday, and that proved to be the case. I thought we were quite sloppy at times, and like I said, we had to put in a really different type of performance to the one on Saturday. I just said to the players in there, now if you want to be successful this season, then you're going to have to do that probably another 10 or 15 times this season, where you're not playing well, but you keep a clean sheet and you win the game, and ultimately that's what we've done in the end.
I think you're right to call out Sturminster's performance, because they battled, and I think that they're a new acquisition to the Western League. Obviously Devizes a new back in to the Western League this season, but one of the differences that I've seen as a follower of both Western League and Hellenic League football was I always felt that you were playing a bit more football in the Hellenic League. Obviously you've continued that tradition, and Sturminster did look like, they battled, weren't they? They were a battling side. They weren't going to give anything away, and they fought to the very end.
No, they were exactly what I thought they would be, and I think 95% of the teams will be in this league. Obviously some will have more quality than others, but you don't get anything for free in this league. I think we've already found that out. So we knew what to expect from them. I certainly don't feel like it was a 3-0 game. I think that flattered us, definitely. We did enough to win in the end with our chances and being clinical with our chances. I was disappointed with the last part of the first half, because I thought we could really step on the gas and try and put the game to bed, but it didn't happen. We come out second half, got the second goal, and then you think nerves will settle down a bit maybe, and we'll start to play some good football. But again, it just didn't happen for us tonight. We got pushed back. We had to defend our box a lot. They put a lot of balls into our box. They were really physical and direct, and had a couple of big targets up front. So they played to their strengths, and we did ride our luck at times, obviously with them hitting the post, etc. In the end, I felt like we deserved it, but we've got a lot more to come than what we showed tonight.
But what a third goal. In fact, to be fair, what about all the goals? They were all very good goals, very well taken, but that third goal, I think, from the fans' perspective, it really put the icing on the cake.
Yeah, all really good goals, all fairly different. Obviously, Cookie's come on at the end there. He's been frustrated with his game time and his opportunities so far this season. So to come on as a right back and score a goal like that, obviously that's one way to sort of respond to the frustration. So he's responded in the right way, and it was a hell of a strike. It's just one of those where he's just gone for it, hell for leather really. And at that stage of the game, being 2-0 up, you could kind of go for it. But yeah, incredible strike. And obviously he'll be chomping at the bit to play again on Saturday now.
The Trent Alexander-Arnold of the Western League. What a start it's been to the season. But unfortunately, I say unfortunately, we've been here before, haven't we, Chris?
Yeah. So similar to last season. Obviously we started really well last year. We then had a really poor spell. So we're obviously looking to learn from last year. I was certainly not getting carried away, because we didn't last year, but we won't be getting carried away, because we've been in this position before, and we started slipping down the table. So I feel like we've got a little bit more experience now, as a management team, as players. I've brought in a little bit more experience this season, so hopefully we can deal with that situation a lot better this season.
And from the spectators' perspective, there is a clear pattern of play, and we've talked about this over the last season. We talked about the style of play that you want to impose, and I think that perhaps because obviously last season was your first season in management, there were times when there was going to be inconsistency in terms of what the team could produce. Today, that was a really enjoyable game of football to watch. Obviously we've seen some great goals, but there was some lovely passing football from the side. The challenge is that at this level there's going to be potential errors with that. You play a passing game, you get found out, and there were times today when the players perhaps could have been punished, and they weren't, But are you really happy with the style of play that you've managed to impart on the players?
Well, I don't think we implemented it well enough tonight, if I'm perfectly honest. Yes, at times we tried to play, but we didn't do it anywhere near enough for my liking. I think especially being 2-0 up in the second half, we could have controlled the game a lot better. We invited pressure on, and when we won the ball back, we were far too quick to go direct with it and didn't keep the ball well enough. Overall, I'm happy with the style. We're very clear in the dressing room that we know what our style is, but that doesn't mean that we always have to play that way. We have different ways of playing, and we don't always want to just be a football inside and one-dimensional. You have to, especially in this league, you have to be able to do both sides. You have to be able to go direct at times. You have to be able to turn teams round, and when you get the opportunities, you have to go and play good football. And I feel like over the course of the season so far, we've done that really well. Tonight we were okay in spells, but over the whole course of the 90 minutes, probably not quite good enough tonight.
Next up, Cribs Reserves, perhaps the Jekyll and Hyde team of the Western League so far. We know how good they were last season because they finished it. Well, they would have finished in a playoff place had they been eligible for the playoffs. So far, results hadn't been going for them, but then they had a very good win against Bitton at the weekend. So that's going to be a really interesting challenge for you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know it's cliche to say, but I obviously look at the results in the league, but I genuinely feel like they don't make any difference at this stage of the season in terms of whether teams have gone and won 4-1 or lost 4-1. There seems to be such an inconsistency in results, especially early on in the season. You say obviously Cribs were bottom of the league after 3 games, and then they go and win 4-1 against Bitton, and you think where has that come from? So we'll be taking nothing for granted. I believe they're one of the better footballing sides in the league, a little bit different to sides that we've come up against recently. So it will pose a different challenge, but one we're looking forward to, and obviously going in on the back of 2 big wins at home and 0 goals conceded. So
far, so good.
Yeah.
Up the town.
Cheers, Ian.